Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. In this lesson, هذا الدرس الأول. This is the first lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn about هذا. هذا in the Arabic language means this is, and is considered a اسم الإشارة. اسم الإشارة يعني demonstrative noun. اسم الإشارة. نعم. This is a demonstrative noun. I use the noun هذا to draw your attention to something. I want to say this is. However, هذا in the Arabic language is used for words that are 1. Masculine, 2. Close in proximity, 3. That which is rational, 4. That which is irrational, i.e. objects. Now, so in the Arabic language, a noun is either masculine or feminine. Inshallah ta'ala, when we get to lesson 7, we will discuss the feminine types of nouns. But for now, you will know that all the nouns that we're learning at the moment, they are masculine nouns. So on this page, you can see a number of nouns. It says, الدرس الأول, the first lesson, هذا, this is. Then we have هذا بيت, this is a house. هذا مسجد, this is a masjid. هذا باب, this is a door. هذا كتاب, this is a book. هذا قلم, this is a pen. هذا مفتاح, this is a key. هذا مكتب, this is a desk. هذا سرير, this is a bed. هذا كرسي. So as you can see, we have a number of nouns here. We have a number of nouns that we can practice with. And if you refer to the vocab bank, you can learn all of these nouns, inshallah, in lesson order. So for every lesson, you'll find a number of nouns that you are to try and learn. But I want to discuss the construction of these nouns. Here we have Baytun. Baytun means a house. When we see this sign at the end of a noun, it means a word is indefinite, i.e. a house. One of those objects and not a specific one. We will learn in lesson 3 how to make something definite and specific. So whenever you see any of these nouns ending in this sign, this is called a tanween. At-tanweenu, the nunation, and this means a noun is indefinite, and this is how we make our most simple sentence construction. So here we have two parts. We have هذا. هذا meaning this is. Baytun, this is a house. This is a house. So we use this either for nouns that are rational, i.e. humans. Whenever we refer to rational nouns in the Arabic language, this means a noun is referring to a person. Irrational is objects and animals. So I say, for example, if I give you an example of a rational noun, I'm going to say, هذا رجل, this is a man. رجل in the Arabic language means a man. هذا رجل, this is a man. Then I'm going to also say, هذا كلب, this is a dog. Now you can see a rational animal, which is an animal, an irrational noun referring to an animal. So we had هذا بيت, an object. هذا رجل, this is a man, a person. هذا كلب, this is a dog referring to an animal. Now in this part of the lesson, we're learning how to expand and progress from just a simple هذا, this is a something, this is a statement. Now we're going to the question. So it says ما هذا. So now we're asking a question. ما هذا means what is this? What is this? This is ما هذا. What is this? However, important thing for us to know is ما هذا is only used for objects and animals. As for humans, we don't use ما هذا. We'll come to see what we use shortly. So there are a number of ways we can ask questions in the Arabic language. And as you can see on this page, it says, starting from here, ما هذا, what is this? هذا بيت, this is a house. أهذا بيت. Now we have another question. أهذا. أهذا by itself means is this, whatever you're asking about. So أهذا بيت, is this a house? And this kind of question, أهذا, is our yes or no question. It's when we want an answer of نعم أو لا. So نعم meaning yes, and لا meaning no. So this is our question of yes or no. So أهذا بيت? نعم هذا بيت. ما هذا? What is this? هذا قميص. This is a shirt. أهذا سرير? Is this a bed? In the picture we can clearly see that this is not a bed. So we say لا, no. Then we affirm what it is. هذا كرسي. This is a chair. أهذا مفتاح? Is this a key? لا. هذا قلم. Then we have last, ما هذا? What is this? هذا نجم. So as I mentioned, ما هذا is used in the Arabic language to say, what is this? Now these are our first and foremost important statements, because when you're learning any language in general, you want to find out the names of things, or what is something. Is this? And what is that? What is this? So these are our primary questions when we're learning the language. How do I say this, for example? كيف أقول? We will learn that much later, inshallah. But what is this? Is this thing that I think it is? And this is how we develop vocab. So what you do, inshallah, on the resources page, you have Medina Book 1 Vocabulary Bank. Start memorizing the vocab. Put them in simple sentences according to that which you've seen in the lesson. This will help you memorize this vocab. So here it says, ما هذا? What is this? You're going to use this for everything. What is this? This is this. هذا بيت. This is a house, for example. ما هذا? What is this? هذا مسجد. Then we're going to use the yes or no questions. أهذا مسجد, for example. Say لا, no. هذا بيت. This is a house. Oh, نعم هذا مسجد. Oh, yes, this is a masjid. So when we use أهذا, we want yes or no. When we say ما هذا, we want هذا and what it is, inshallah ta'ala. So that's our questions that we learn within this page. Whenever you see these pages like this, and it says the word tamreen. Tamreen, it means exercise. So now this is where we take what we have learned and we practiced it. By now, inshallah ta'ala, you should have got used to the vocab within this lesson. So here it says, for example, ما هذا. I'm just going to do the first one for you. And then in your own time, I would like you to write down in a separate exercise book or whatever you find easier for you, inshallah ta'ala. Go through these exercises just to practice the usage of what we have learnt in this lesson. So here it says, ما هذا? What is this? So now in the picture you can see something right here. What is it we can see? مفتاح. This is a key. So how do I say that now? How do I say this is a key? I say هذا مفتاح. This is a key. So I would write that here, for example. هذا مفتاح. Okay. One thing to also pay attention to is how is هذا pronounced and written. I write هذا like this, but I pronounce it like this. هذا. However, we don't write this. Okay. We say هذا, but it's written as هذا. Okay. That's just a thing that we should know of how to write هذا, and also in correspondence with how we pronounce it. So you have a number of nouns now that you can practice with. So ما هذا, the first one I've done for you. هذا مفتاح. So what's the next one? ما هذا. Now this is for you to do as your homework, inshallah ta'ala, in your own time. If we go to the next exercise here, we're using now أهذا, the second type of question. And as I mentioned previously, this question is when we are asking for a yes or no answer. So again, we'll do the first one for you. أهذا بيت? Is this a house? ما رأيكم? What do you think, guys? أنا لا أظن بيتا. I don't think it's a house. It looks something like a masjid. أهذا بيت؟ لا هذا مسجد. So we say لا هذا, you have a little comma there, لا هذا مسجد. And you will follow the exact same pattern to complete the rest of these exercises, inshallah ta'ala. So as you can see here, the last exercise of this section is اقرأ واكتب, read and write. So here it says اقرأ واكتب. Get used to seeing this this way of expressing a command. You'll see this often throughout the rest of the book. اقرأ واكتب, it means read and write. So this is when you're going to practice the vocab you should have memorized by now, reading them and writing them correctly. Okay, so whenever you see this, just take a piece of paper or in an exercise book and rewrite these sentences and these phrases, inshallah ta'ala, just to practice your reading and writing. Now we have the next section of this lesson, which is right here, and it says Man hadha. Man hadha. This is important now to know the difference between man hadha and ma hadha. As I mentioned, when we say ma hadha, we're only asking about objects and animals. Man hadha is specific to humans. We say man hadha when we're referring to humans, and this means who is this? Okay? Who is this? Man hadha, who is this? So in the first part we can see here, Man hadha, hadha tabibun. Who is this? This is a doctor. Man hadha, who is this? Hadha waladun. This is a boy. Man hadha, who is this? Hadha talibun. This is a student. Ahadha waladun. Is this a boy? La. Hadha rajulun. So in this lesson, now we have learnt some nouns of names and titles of humans. So waladun meaning a boy, tabibun a doctor, talibun a student, rajulun a man. So if I said man hadha, who is this? And I said hadha kitabun. Is this correct? Can I say that? Man hadha, who is this? Hadha kitabun, this is a book. No. Here we should have said ma hadha. Ma hadha, why? Because now I'm asking about an object. Likewise, I cannot say ma hadha and say hadha tabibun or hadha rajulun. So ma hadha is used to ask about objects, and man hadha is used to ask about people. So in continuing this lesson, as you can see now, starting from here, we're going to be practicing the different usage of everything that we have discussed within this lesson so far, and this will be the end of lesson 1. So here you can see it says ma hadha. What is this? Hadha masjidun. This is a masjid or a mosque. Now this is referring to objects, as I made clear in the previous part of the lesson. Man hadha, who is this? Hadha tajirun. This is a merchant or a businessman. So now we're asking about a person. We're asking about an actual person. So we say man hadha. Then we have hadha kalbun. This is a dog. Hadha kalbun. Is this a dog? La. Hadha qittun. No, this is a cat. Hadha himarun. This is a donkey. Hadha himarun. Is this a donkey? La. Hadha hisanun. No, this is a horse. Wama hadha. And what is this? Hadha jamalun. This is a camel. Then we have again, ma hadha. What is this? Hadha deekun. This is a rooster. Man hadha. Who is this? Hadha mudarrisun. This is a teacher. Ahadha qamisun. Is this a shirt? La. Hadha mindilun. No, this is a handkerchief. Then we have the last part of this lesson, which is read and write. Iqra waktub. So again, you have 10 sentences here to read and write. And if you put the correct vowel sounds there, so you know exactly how to say it, use the vocab book to help you with this, or refer back, just listen back to the lesson and how I've mentioned these words, inshallah ta'ala. And this will help improve your reading and writing So you can eventually be able to read and write without seeing any vowel sounds. So just a quick summary of what we have covered in this lesson. We're learning هذا. هذا meaning this is. ما هذا? What is this? من هذا? Who is this? أهذا? And whatever it is, أهذا is this. And this comes with نعم, yes, أو لا, no. So that is a summary of that which we have learned in this first lesson. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.